Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another stream here on the channel. Very nice to have you here. A bit of a special stream. We are having a quick sort of Q&A session with Ozzy here, a great freeware developer. Hey, Caleb. Your chats I can now see just fine, so it looks like changing your name and stuff fixed that. Hey, Chris. Hey, Flynn. How you doing? Danny, hi, how are you? Great to have all of you guys here. I like your grey crew delivery, Drish. Thank you very much. It's hopefully should be releasing it soon on the org or something for you guys to download. So yeah, anyway, we have Ozzy here. We're going to be asking him some questions, and of course, if you guys have some questions, then do put it in chat, and we'll see what we can do. First, I'm going to brief the route, and then I'll introduce Ozzy here. So if I share my screen here, as you can see, we are flying from Boston Logan. We are using the SFD free scenery here. We'll be departing runway 27 on the SOX S7 departure. And then we'll be flying to Trenton here, which is, of course, the freeware scenery that we showcased last week with the Duchess stream. And we'll be taking a look at that again at the end of the stream when we land. We'll be landing runway 06 on the ILS approach. No star today, so we'll be just flying direct for the ILS. So that's the route briefed. So I'll introduce Ozzy here, if you want to say hi.
Hello, hello, hello.
Right, if you guys can hear him, do let me know. Let me know if the volume's all okay. I can adjust all of that for you guys. Just fine.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely no worries. I mean, if we can support freeware developers such as yourself who, really hold up the X-Plane community, then we will. Absolutely. So let me bring something up here, and we'll get started. So I think one of the first questions I wanted to ask, really, and I'll let you answer whilst I start the aircraft and everything, is so what kind of work goes into making these sceneries such as Trenton, and what would you say is the most difficult or most time-consuming part?
Well, definitely the 3D modeling, at least for me. I mean, I spent at least a month and a half just on modeling and texturing, and then only spent like a week actually implementing it into the sim with World Editor. But everything else is mostly just personal preference. Like for me, I hate doing ground textures. I just hate it. They're like you sim Captain. Everyone knows how much I just hate it, and so I'll like bribe them to try and do it for me. And then there's other people who just hate lines, like taxi lines, runway parking, stuff like that. But I love doing that. And so it all just mostly just comes down to personal preference. But mostly, if you're going to be doing 3D modeling and stuff like that, that will 100% be the most time-consuming part, no matter what.
Yeah, so you, all the buildings in your scenery, you 3D model them by yourself, is it, or?
Most of them, yes. There are a few buildings that I've had to use from Laminar Library just because they're just so unimportant that there's no point in doing it when there's Laminar Library. They can just implement it. But all the main buildings that you need to go to or see most of the time, then yeah, they're modeled. But everything else that just kind of is in the corner of your eye, some of them will be Laminar Library, not modeled by me.
Okay. So when you're modeling these buildings, how do you, so what do you reference? Do you just sort of try and find as many images online, or?
So usually I use Google Earth Pro, and I just use the 3D line tool to get measurements and then get reference colors and stuff like that. And then if I need any more detail that Google Earth can't show, usually 9 times out of 10, it'll be photos or videos from real life that'll briefly show it, and then I'll get all the data I need. I mean, obviously there's going to be some times where I just don't know and I have to guess, but then also the people who will buy it or people who will download the scenery also will not know because there are no videos or references for it. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. So we do have a question in chat here. So from Calum, how long ago did you start developing, and how long did it take you to get the hang of it?
so okay, that's a very long story. So I first started messing with scenery development probably 3 years ago, something like that. They were awful, but I would just kind of pick at like Nashville Airport because that's where I'm from, and there are no good Nashville sceneries. So I would just kind of pick at the gateway and make it better. Obviously didn't publish it because no. Um, Next was Burbank, and that one was all right. I still did not know what I was doing, but it was all made by me. Didn't really feel like the hang of it very much. And then about a year and a few months ago, I saw this one video of Mentor Pilot of this one crash at Presque Isle Airport, and I was like, "Oh, that's a very good airport to get started in." Just start like actually just delve into it because it's so small that I can get it done reasonably soon, but also still pretty. I wouldn't say popular, but it gets service, so people would want to download it. So I spent about 3 days just going at it, and I've loved it ever since. Um, this is Trenton was my 13th airport, but only my second where I actually 3D modeled everything. Um, and just it takes time. There's no other way to know. You just have to go at it and keep going at it.
Yeah. So in terms of sort of how you learn, especially WED, it's not the easiest software to try and learn. What kind of resources did you use to learn that, or was it all sort of self-taught and trial and error based?
So most of it is self-taught, but for the very extreme things I just did not know, some of them I did have to ask around the community and ask friends about it. But I'd say about 90% of it I just self-taught because I mean, Trenton, I still learn stuff in the World Editor every single time. Like every single time I'm making it where I learn something new, and it's just you always learn. There is no stopping learning.
Yeah.
So
Calum's asking, is there a link to download the sceneries like they are on the org store? Calum, if you type exclamation dev, it'll take you straight to Ozzy's page on the forum, and there's also a link to Trenton in the description as well. Hey, VSkyCheck, how you doing? Glad to have you here. All good? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So in terms of sort of future projects then, is there anything about that you could share, freeware, payware, sort of anything really?
yeah, so right now I am working on payware, so I can't
Captain,
necessarily
let me know where you want this
announce it
thing.
yet. Well, I can't announce it. Um, but I know it's gonna be pretty good. Um, and then after that, I have me and Joshua Moore or Hornet Aircraft Designs. I'm not sure if you guys know him. He made Cleveland and uh, Layton Valley Airport, I think it was called. Me and him are teaming up to make Jet Set Designs, which is basically small GA airports around the U.S. that just have not gotten enough attention, and we want to combine
Hey,
his
Captain,
great
let me know where
world
you want this
editing
thing.
and mesh work with my modeling and texturing, basically.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Right. Just getting the aircraft set up here. Almost ready for departure. I'll check out those sceneries. They all work for X-Plane 12, right? Yeah, they're all X-Plane 12, aren't they, Ozzy?
Some they should all be X-Plane 12 compatible. Not all of them are X-Plane 11 compatible, though.
Right. Okay.
For Trenton as well, I also haven't checked last time, but the 12.09 beta that was out a few weeks ago, I'm not sure if it's like not a beta or not, but you need to be on that in order to run Trenton.
Right. Okay. So one thing I wanted to ask as well is, how do you pick what airports you want to make?
All
Do you
right.
just-
Looks like the doors and hatches are closed, and we're ready to connect.
So better pushback. You're talking over me sometimes. You know
I
what?
can
We'll
hear it.
yeah. We'll let's wait for pushback and then we'll continue, because I don't want better pushback to talk over sort of you when you're answering questions and stuff.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, so let's get the jetway disconnected here. We'll turn the beacon on. And let's force the air days to quick align so we don't have to wait too long for that. Yeah, as I said, guys, if you do have
Welcome aboard, Captain.
any
Toes
questions,
connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
if you do have any questions for Ozzy, do stick them in chat, and we'll try to get to as many as possible throughout the course of this flight. I'm just going to go through here and check the flight plan, make sure there's no discos. Looking all good. I'm going to get rid of this hard waypoint here.
You could excuse me. I'm gonna go grab some water real quick.
Yeah, no worries. Right, so that's good. It did that yesterday on the test sector as well, but we can ignore that for now. Just make sure everything else here is set up, which I think it is. Fuel pumps all on. Lights are all good. Let's start the pushback here.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Of course, here at the really nice Boston Logan Airport. Freeway as well. And whilst we do that, let's go ahead and start engine number 2. We are using the COSP sound pack as well today. So we are departing runway 27 here, so we're actually going to be flying pretty much straight towards the city on departure here. So it should be pretty scenic. Hey Toms, how you doing? Is there a way to bypass the SAM library requirements for scenery? It gives me long freezes whenever I have SAM installed. I'm not sure. Scenery may not load properly if the library isn't installed, so you can give it a try. Jetways won't work, but I think it really depends on how the scenery's been made.
All right, I am back.
Yeah. Just starting engine number 2 here. I think the stream that you'll be watching is probably slightly delayed, so
Yeah, it is. It's all right.
when we get to Trenton, we'll have a look around Trenton, and I'll stream through Discord to you, so sort of you can talk about things live rather than
Just about
watching the
done here.
stream
Go ahead and set your parking brake.
and it being like, you know, delayed.
Yeah, I got you.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Right, so we'll set flaps 1, arm the speed brakes. As we get, looks like we're having a decent start on engine number 1. It's a pretty straight taxi here, just taxiway Charlie, and then Delta all the way down. Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much for Skycheck. Another master of WED here. Makes great sceneries, and They really help if you have performance limitations.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Frank the King, hi, just subbed, and how are you? Well, thank you very much for the sub. I'm good, thank you very much for flying the towless A321 today here from Boston to Trenton. Right, so I think Better Pushback has finished what they're doing. So yeah, my next question was how do you pick what sceneries to make next?
It's really airport by airport basis. Obviously for Presque Isle, it was just the one that seemed perfect to start on. For Burbank, there was this old Chewy 94 clip on YouTube where he flies into Burbank, and like 10-year-old me seeing that video was just amazed at, like, I thought that was the coolest airport in the world. So whenever I started getting into airport development, I knew like I just had to do Burbank at some point. That's why I've done Burbank. For Rockford, I was in a $0. Do you remember when, or do you even knew $0 Payware? They had like a mentoring program.
I heard of it, but didn't honestly pay too much attention to it at the time.
So I was in that, and me and 2 other people teamed up and wanted to do Rockford. Honestly, we did do that good, and we didn't even get like a percentage into actually making it. But I just knew, like, at some point I would have to do that because I loved it. Trenton, I remember I was sitting in class and the school gave us iPads for some reason. I don't know why. They just did. But on it is Google Earth, and of course I'm looking at different airports doing this, and that. And I noticed Trenton, which I've like never looked at before. And it turns out there's a pretty good airport there. No one has done it in X-Plane, Misfits, or P3D. And it just looks good. And I've just started doing 3D modeling. It doesn't look too hard. Might as well give it a shot, and look where we are now.
Absolutely. I mean, Trenton is how I found you, essentially. Like, I downloaded Trenton and just thought it was so good, and started checking out some of the other stuff. And yeah, it's really, really great work on that. Hence why I, used it for the Dutchess stream last week as well. Dominic, hiya, how was you? Nice to have you here. No worries, BSky Check, if you want, you're more than welcome to post your profile in the chat. That's absolutely fine. So for Ozzy, from another question, on the org page, I've seen you have only done US-based airports. Do you plan on doing some European airports?
I'm not opposed to it. It's mostly if A, there's the demand for it, and B, there's the 3D models of Google Earth Pro and the reference photos to support it. But I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's just there haven't been any European airports that I've been interested in, and also have the means of people wanting to download it, and also not 9 times out of 10, half the time Google Earth just doesn't show the 3D buildings and stuff. So that's mostly why. If there is a European airport that does meet all those specified requirements, then I would love to do that. It's just I haven't found any.
Right, yeah. And you do take, I think your Discord, the shuttle Discord, is in the description. If it's not, then do feel free to post a link to that as well. But you guys take suggestions there as well, don't you? So
Yes, we do.
yeah, so guys, if you're interested in the work, do go ahead, join the Discord. They do take suggestions as well, so that's brilliant. We always like developers who are, listen to the community, so that's brilliant.
Thank you, BSky Check. I really do appreciate it.
Alright, so taxiing here to runway 27. fairly short taxi here today. We'll depart. We are just going to do a toga takeoff because we like the sounds of a toga takeoff, and using the LEAP engines here. We should be departing straight out towards the city actually, so it'll be a fairly scenic departure here, hopefully. Now, one thing I really do like, and I was surprised by when I downloaded Trenton, is you actually provide a full tile of Zoom level 16, I think it is, ortho as well, which is, you know, really appreciated, because as we know, ortho can take a long time to, you know, generate every time. So just having it able to just, you know, be downloadable straight from there is really great.
Yeah, that was all done by Josh and his amazing ortho and mesh work. I mean, if you look around the airport, you'll see all the elevation changes. Just, it's amazing.
Yeah, and also I think it comes with a patch file as well, doesn't it? If we did want to make our own ortho, but also, you know, keep all that mesh, the mesh changes and the mesh work that he's done, which is really nice. Because a lot of payware don't come with patch files, and then you're sort of stuck with, okay, do I have a mesh or do I have ortho? You know, you kind of have to pick. I was blocking the link. So
I see.
Yeah, so you know what, let me post it here quickly. So it's set on the runway. So I'll get an invite link for that, and I'll just post it in the chat quickly here on my second monitor. Had my second IFR flight today, and taxi instructions at large airports are my worst. Honestly, yeah, getting taxi instructions at a large airport that you're unfamiliar with can be quite confusing at times. But if you put you're a new pilot in your remarks section, most of the time the controllers should be pretty good about it and sort of slow stuff down for you. Right, so I'll put the link in chat there now, so hopefully that should go through, and we'll go ahead and take off here. Just make sure everything's good to go. Spoil them up 50%. And toga. Knots will release the forward pressure. V1 and rotate. Gear up and we'll go for a flyby. Turn here shortly. Just follow the flight directions. I don't actually have ortho for this area, but we do have ortho upon arrival, as we previously mentioned. So we'll put the thrust reversers time to climb. Nice, thank you, Caleb. You can see the Discord link. That's great. Disarm the spoilers now. You can see the city there. And again, you can see how much ortho is provided with the scenery here as well. Very nice. Not very new to that sim, but I do get lost sometimes. Most controllers are understanding and will be fine giving you another one. Yeah, most of the time controllers are pretty good about it, especially if you've stated you're a new pilot. And the first wings events on that sim are really useful as well. I used some of those to sort of gain confidence on VATSIM, and yeah, they're pretty good. It's quite turbulent here actually, but we'll stick the autopilot on. We are live weather, live time as well. And so another question for you, Ozzy. How do you optimize your sceneries to keep performance degradation to a minimum?
To be honest, I'm still figuring it out, but mostly it's just reducing file size whenever needed, and just not turning the grass up to 5 for some reason. And I'm like, because someone decided to do that, and so many people were getting 20 frames per second, even though, yeah, it's a long story. But basically, someone set the grass level to Trenton at like 5 when it should be like 0.3. So people were getting no frames. So yeah, double checking the grass and tree levels the next time. That'll be high on the list for performance. And then mostly just giving people an option to turn off grass if their PC can't handle it. And I mean, if they still can't run it, then I don't know what to say.
Yeah, because we know performance is, you know, a key thing with X-Plane. A lot of people may struggle with, especially with 12, struggle with performance, and I've found that some sceneries do, you know, hit, whilst they might look great, they hit really hard in performance and therefore just, you know, become unusable. But I noticed with Trenton that it, you know, did not hit my FPS at all actually, and it was very well optimized. And I suppose with, you know, you're doing some smaller airports, that helps because there's not as much to sort of optimize. There might not be as many objects and nodes and stuff like that, so I suppose that's easier in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, I did find one solution if people still are not getting frames. A lot of times people have 3D trees turned on, so make sure to turn that off, and that should help. I understand it doesn't look as good, but if you want frames, then you might have to turn that off because Trenton has a lot of trees.
Yep, sometimes you just have to sacrifice a bit of it, don't you, to get some decent FPS.
Yes.
I mean, I'm RAM limited with my machine, VRAM limited, sorry. I've only got 8 gig, but again, I noticed that the VRAM on Trenton was, you know, very, very low. And I get, yeah, it's a small airport, but still very appreciated that, you know, minimal VRAM and you don't get as much texture compression and stuff like that, you know, especially in aircraft. V-Sky check. That's my specialty. I do that on all my edits before I submit. Yep, I know your gateway edits are really, really great with the, you know, performance optimizations and stuff like that. I found that excessive nodes are killer and X-Plane. Also, if the scenery is older and needs to be updated, also keep a balance on objects and clutter. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a fine balance to how detailed the scenery is and how good on performance it is. I'm on 8 and have to keep my texture quality medium, else my FPS. Yeah, I'm on 8 gigabytes of VRAM, 32 gigs of regular RAM, and yeah, I've got my texture set to medium. Otherwise, I just get too much compression, essentially. Got a fair few viewers today, higher than normal, so that's good. So the other thing, so you're part of the shuttle simulations group, right? Do you want to just sort of elaborate on what that group's all about and how you all sort of came together?
Yeah, so originally, I was not in shuttle for the longest time. It was originally supposed to be an Embraer 120 freeware project, but that's just kind of been dead because of several reasons that I honestly do not remember because there's so many. But one of my friends named Andres, he was friends with the owner of Shuttle, and knew I liked doing scenery stuff. So he asked the owner if I could join as the only scenery developer for Shuttle, and he accepted it. Been making scenery since then, and I've been great friends with the owner of it since. Recently, we just got a second developer who is working on his own projects, but wanting to post it under the Shuttle name. And yeah, we're always looking for new developers.
That's great. So how does being part of the group benefit you essentially?
I mean, the Embraer 120 project already brought a lot of people into their Discord server, so that was a great boosting point, I guess. As we already had like 300 people in it before I even made my first thing, or my first scenery, and then just having a leader on top and also having another developer now, it's just it feels amazing. Yeah, it's just amazing.
And would you say it's a place where maybe people who are looking to get into scenery development could maybe sort of not necessarily join the group but join the Discord and sort of get help, and when there's something they might not know about in WED, maybe ask around and learn just like you did, asking around from people?
Yeah, absolutely. You can join Shuttle, you can join $0 Payware. I know you can ask them a bunch of questions. You can join Xcoders. He can answer a lot, and you can also join Taylor Designs, and they all have great communities to help you. So I've used all of them to help with something before.
Yeah, it's really nice how all the developers, or well, most of the developers, sort of, whilst they're doing their own projects, they do come together, help each other, and at the end of the day, it means that we get, as users of these add-ons for X-Plane, we get better add-ons, sometimes freeware, sometimes payware, but it does really keep X-Plane alive, and that's what I really love about the community. Everyone's sort of trying to help each other, and I think that's great. Yeah, absolutely, Captain Lee. Guys, if you didn't know, Captain Lee is the guy behind Tailway Designs. Good to have you here. It sucks that VRAM usage on X-Plane is so retarded. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? I mean, 8 gig you'd think it'd be enough, but nope. It's just a shame that the 3070 Ti, it's great, and I do like it. It's very powerful. It's just doesn't, if it just had 2 or maybe 4 gigs more VRAM, it'd be really, really nice. It'd be perfect, I'd say, for what it's worth. So it's a shame that they didn't put 12 or something in it like they did with the 3060, but there it is. So you've got your scenery posted on the explain.org forum. Is that the only place you host the scenery, or do you have it on other forums such as Threshold or the INI forums or anything like that?
I do post all my recent ones on the .to, and I do have Little Rock posted on Threshold, but that's only one. I've considered putting them over to other forums just to get more downloads, but it's just the X-Plane forums and the .to, they already get so much. It's like, and that's where everyone looks for scenery now. It's just, I don't necessarily see a point, but I'm not opposed to it if people really want it. Like, if people really want it, then they can just tell me and I can start posting it on there. But me personally, I just don't see a point.
Yeah, is there, between all these forums, they all sort of, to us, they're all just sort of very similar. Is there, for developers, is there any sort of differentiation between them, or are they again just all very similar for you guys?
The X-Plane forums usually gets a lot more downloads than any other forum, so that's my main thing. The .to, it's better. Like, you have way more options to control and update and optimize your stuff for them. but there's still a lot that I don't like about it, such as you have to like post the scenery first and then edit it in order to add a link in order to download something else. It's just there's some things I like about the .to that I don't like about the forums, and then there's some things I like about the forums I don't like about the .to, but then the forums gets way more downloads, so it's a whole. You have to experience it to know. I'm
Right.
sure Lee knows all about it.
Yeah, I guess it's like anything where, you know, they've all got their benefits and drawbacks, and good for some things, good for not so good for other things.
Yep.
So, I hate that X-Plane is CPU heavy and can only use one core only. If they change to multiple and switch to GPU band, performance would be doubled. Yeah, I suppose it's something they're looking at, hopefully. I was thinking about getting the 3060, and it would have benefited me a bit more, as I also have the 3070 Ti. Yeah, so when I do all my scenery and aircraft reviews, the person at X-Plane Reviews, who I sort of correspond with, has a 3060 Ti with 12 gigs of VRAM, and he gets way less texture compression than I do, so it makes it difficult when I'm reviewing stuff, because my PC might be compressing the textures, and then I'm going to look at them and go, oh, they're not as good as they actually are, and that's not fair on the developers, you know. But the 3060 I think would probably benefit you over the 3070, as most of the time you're going to be CPU limited anyway in X-Plane. So Captain Lee, funny enough, Ozzy is working with me on a payware project for Tearware Designs. No public announcement yet though, we will keep everyone posted. Oh great, that's amazing to hear. It's nice that you're working together. Both your sceneries are great, all the freeware stuff I've tried is great, so that'll be exciting. We'll have to see what comes out of that payware project. Captain Lee, yes, but also to keep balanced clutters, objects and nodes, the CPU loads are often depending on too many textures used. But you are right, we need to leave the one core system. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. So, Ozzy, how did you get into? I think we've covered how you got into the scenery development side of things, but how did you get into the just general flight sim? And do you often fly, or do you spend more time making sceneries? And
so, I've kind of always knew, like especially when I was young, that I just love flying. My uncle, I think it was, he had like a joystick and like a throttle. It was like a really old, crappy Logitech joystick. Even by past standards, it was known as crappy. But he had like a small, I think it was X-Plane 10, maybe. Yeah, I think so. It was a flight simulator. It might have been FSX, but he flew. I was able to fly around. Loved it. Do you know the X-Plane 10 mobile game that you can get on that phone?
yeah,
Oh
I remember
my
the old
god.
X-Plane 9 mobile game. I don't think it's even available anymore,
Yes.
but that's literally
Yes,
what I got
X-Plane
started
9.
with.
Oh my god, I loved that game so much.
Yeah.
I specifically remember there's a Marine Corps airport on Hawaii. You know, like the Hawaiian island has one of the spawning points in it.
Right.
Yeah, there's an airport at like the Marine Corps thing that has like a beach on one, like pretty much right on the end of one runway. So I would always spawn the 747, get on final approach for that specific runway, and think of it as me landing at St. Martin. And then basically I got X-Plane 10, didn't know what I was doing, got X-Plane 11, started getting started understanding, and just slowly learned how to fly 737s and 75s and A320s, and yeah, most of the time today I spend most of my time working on development. I do fly sometimes, but you're either always in development mode, or if you want to take a break, then you're in flight mode. Like you can't just. It sounds weird, but I know most of the senior developers just all know what I'm talking about. But you're either working on a project for a long period of time, or you just fly for a long period of time. You can't have a balance. It's either one or the other. It's very hard to have a balance. So it's not as often as I fly now, but I still find some time here and there.
Right. When you do fly, do you more GA or sort of airliners or?
For the longest time, it was airliners, and that's still what I mostly do. Recently, I've been getting into some GA, but more recently, I've been really liking business jet with the Challenger 650 and the Gulfstream 550. And yeah, that's just with Trenton, with it being such a big business jet hub, I've been flying out Trenton a lot with those.
Yeah, I mean, I would have flown a business jet into there today, but I don't have any other than, I guess, the default citation that comes with X-Plane. But talking about the G550, is that the one by AKD Studios?
Yes, it is.
What's it like?
I mean, I like the plane because it's one of the only few business jets out there. I like how it flies most of the time. The one thing that I just cannot get over is how pixelated the screens are. I really wish they would fix that. And also maybe some texturing in the cockpit, but I mean, I'm not an airplane developer, so I would not know how hard that is. I mean, they've already made a very good plane that I can fly, so I'm not complaining there. It's just future-wise, I just hope that's what they focus on, because those are the things that hold me back from flying it most of the time. But yeah, I'm super excited to that they're making the 650 now.
Oh wow, that's great. I mean, I know some aircraft developers love to hear this kind of feedback, and if they are improving, the aircraft might not be the best when it releases, but I think as long as it gets, and this goes for scenery too, and really anything, as long as the developers are sort of listening to the community and updating it and improving it and stuff like that, then I think that's great. I mean, the same happened with the Rotate MD-11 when it released. It wasn't brilliant, but it's had a lot of updates in the past sort of year, and I flew it just yesterday on stream actually, and it was actually pretty good. I actually really enjoy flying that. So I think when it gets updates and stuff like that, then it really helps, and people do appreciate that.
Yeah, I remember buying it. I forgot how long ago. It might have been a year or so. It was already like they just released it not too long ago, and it was on sale. And I just saw that, like, I mean, it may not be flyable or very enjoyable to fly right now, but I'm just gonna buy it and then wait for the updates to come in, so I already have it. And once they came out with the 2.0 version of the Gulfstream, I've flown it so many times, and I love it. It's just those small things I wish they'd improve on that'll make it even better.
Yeah, might have to look into that for myself. I know you mentioned the Challenger as well, and we know that the Hot Start 650 is just an amazing aircraft.
I don't know how much money you're able to spend. Find $150, man. It is worth every single dollar that I put into it. It is so fun to fly.
Yep, that is it's on my wish list too. It's expensive, but I've heard very good things from virtually anyone who owned it. So, and I've seen plenty of streams as well, and it just looks amazing.
I've heard Hot Stars also. I mean, it's been a while since I guess leaked it, I guess is the right word, but yeah, I'm excited for their A220 whenever it does come out.
Yep, there's that, and hopefully they update the TBM 950, I think it is, because I know that was great in X-Plane 11.
Yeah, I know Torque Sim is also making Citation 525 right now. Should be releasing soon-ish, I think. Maybe in a few months.
Yep, that'd be interesting because I have wanted to fly some more biz jets. I've flown the default Citation, and it's not too bad in X-Plane. But yeah, I'd love a really nice high fidelity one, perfect for flying into airports such as Trenton.
Yeah.
Hi Inu, how you doing?
Surprised Lee hasn't asked me any questions yet. He's the one person I would think he would ask like 5 million questions about the dumbest stuff imaginable.
Yeah, I mean, guys, if you've got any more questions, then do please go ahead. So when I checked out Trenton during the Dusty stream, obviously on all the billboards you've sort of put some sort of like, I think, content creators and stuff, and that was really funny.
Yeah,
there's one or two I couldn't find, but yeah, the rest. Q8 Pilot, obviously I moderate for him, very good friends with him, so that was really nice to see. And then we had I think Blue Games, the podcast and stuff, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I love my Easter eggs. There's an entire other set of Easter eggs that you didn't even have the chance to look at Trenton. That's how much I go for it. But yeah, we'll make sure that you see all of it.
Yeah, we'll go through them when we land. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I hate saying it, but seeing Tacoma is just so. Sometimes it can just be so mundane that that's why I just love just adding Easter eggs or hidden features or just stuff like that. Like at John C. Toon, my other one, I'm not sure if you know it, but there's a sign that says "Welcome to Music City," and right behind it, I hid like a text that said, "Congratulations," or "Thank you for downloading the scenery, blah blah blah. You get to add an image to a billboard for my next airport." And Josh ended up finding it first, and so he got to advertise his airport on a billboard for Trenton. And then I always find different ways to hopefully make someone laugh.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I did enjoy, even though I didn't find all of them, I did enjoy just going around and looking. And when I saw Q8, I was so surprised. I know he himself appreciated that. So yeah, no, that's really fun. I do like when there's Easter eggs and stuff like that in the sceneries. Like you say, I guess when you're developing them, it helps, but it's really nice. It makes your scenery sort of stand out to us and makes us remember them and want to visit them more often, really.
Yeah.
Yes, Ozzy. What's your take on the latest discussion in Laminar to evolve for their own store functions?
I just want to know how much cut they take, to be honest.
Right. Do you think that I know there's not much information right now, but do you think that they'll have a platform for freeware stuff as well?
I don't think they discuss that. If they do, that would be fantastic. But I don't think they would have that. But I don't know. We'll watch it. Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting feature. It will have undoubtedly positives and negatives because, I mean, I guess they're sort of trying to replicate the Microsoft, like say, marketplace. But as we know, that can be very helpful, and it's great. There's some great add-ons there, but there's also a lot of almost scams on that marketplace as well, which sort of people try to take advantage of new players and selling an add-on, which is just not what it seems to be. So hopefully that doesn't happen with the X-Plane marketplace. I guess that will be regulated a bit heavier than the Microsoft one, but it'll be really nice to see like a freeware section on there and for them to highlight some of the freeware developers such as yourself, because at the end of the day, you guys are absolutely what is keeping X-Plane alive, really. I mean, we have, for example, Zebo, and I only flew the Zebo 737 till like last January when I got this TOLUS. So without the Zebo, for example, I might have switched to Microsoft Flight Sim, who knows, but it'll be nice for them to put a bit of a spotlight on you and appreciate you guys by adding you into the marketplace. I think it'll be a great idea.
Yeah, I would love it. It's just, will they actually implement it or not?
Yeah, I mean, they've said that ETA is 2024, so I'm going to presume that it's end of 2024, if not early 2025, because I don't think it's going to come within the next sort of 6 months. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Flight Factor 777 coming out in however many weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I really do hope it's a step up from all of the rest, because the Flight Factor products are great. The 76, 757, even the A350 I actually quite enjoy flying. But as long as the big thing is textures that need improvement for sure. We have reached on top of descent here, so start descending. But the other thing is performance as well. I mean, these TOLUS products perform so well, and I really hope that Flight Factor sort of upgrade because their SASL system. Now, I don't know much about that at all, so I don't know how easy or how different it is to whatever TOLUS use. But I do know that it takes up a lot of performance when you go into plugin admin. So it'd be nice if they could improve that and make it sort of more like what TOLUS use, I guess. I know they have worked together on some stuff like the Flight Factor, so maybe they'll work together on that somehow, but it'll be good. I know the sounds for sure are going to be great on that 777 because the developer who's doing the sounds for Flight Factor is the guy behind the KBOS sound pack, which is what we're using today. And as we all know, the KBOS sound pack is just brilliant and a really, really nice sound pack. So he said that the 777 V2 will be a step up to what the KBOS is using some new technology. So that I'm really excited for. But I think the longer it takes to come out, the higher expectations are going to be. And I don't want a rush project at all. I'd rather wait even an extra 6 months if it means the aircraft's more polished upon release. But we'll see. It was meant to come out late 2023, and it's now, well, into February of 2024 now. So I think it's close. But at the same time, it's taking a long while, and we've not really heard anything recently on it. I think we had some preview shots about 4 or 5 weeks ago. But yeah, we've not really heard anything. So hopefully that means maybe it's in some sort of pre-release alpha stage or something like that, or beta, but we'll see. The other project that I've been wanting some sort of developer shots on is the 787 they're doing. I know they're probably fully focused on that, on the 777 V2, but they did announce the 787 and showed some preview shots off maybe about a year ago. Not heard any progress on that, so that'd be interesting because I so want a good 787 and X-Plane.
I know.
I would just love that for some of the more long haul stuff. But again, 777 would be great for long haul flying. I tend to fly a lot sort of overnight, and it'll be great. Very much looking forward to it. I hope performance on it is good, as I've said before. The 767, 757 do a little bit lower in terms of performance than some other aircraft, which makes it difficult flying into some areas. I know the UK, I'm from the UK and I love flying in the UK, but it's very sort of congested airspace, and there's lots of big airports quite close to each other. Performance is just horrible in the UK, really. So TOLUS are fine, but trying to fly some of the 767, 757, Felis 747-200 is just almost a no-go in the UK at the moment, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I'm just trying to lower my expectations, so that if it's not that good, then wasn't expecting it, and then if it is good, then well, it's a good surprise then. That's just what I'm trying to do, but I don't know if I be able to.
Yeah, I mean, if it's, I don't think it has to be Toadless quality, because Toadless quality is just on another level. But yeah, I don't want my expectations to be too high and then be disappointed, because it is going to be expensive. I know that. I think it'll be more expensive than what their current 757 and 767 are, most likely, considering it's a newer product and they've put a lot of time into it. But hopefully expectations, I know a lot of people's expectations are quite high, and I think they're going to get disappointed, if I'm honest. But like I say, only time will tell, really, and we'll have to see what comes out of it.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can catch up on chat here. V Skycheck says, anyway, I believe it's time for having a research to evolve, the community included. Yeah, I think a bit more engagement with the community. I know they have set up the Discord server and are doing some more stuff there, so that's great to see, but I think a little bit more engagement with developers especially would be really nice. Although I did, the way I found Trenton as well was also through their Discord server. I was just looking through the third-party releases section, and or I think it was a self-promotion section, and found Trenton. So that's nice. It's a good platform. But I think they should be doing, Q&A sessions such as this one with developers as well, for them to sort of interact with each other. That'd be really nice in the future. Apparently one of the devs has not a bad PC but not overkill, and also thinks the GPU was used for mining, and it was supposedly gets good FPS. So it seemed like it's good in optimization. I do think it'll be nicely optimized. I think it will be better than the 767, 757, because they were built for, I think, originally X-Plane 10 or something, and then they've just been upgraded. So presumably that has a lot of limitations in itself, and this is a completely, they're building it from the ground up. So hopefully that should help in that respect. I do think ND is doing some strange things and it's affecting VNAV. So we're just going to go on a heading course. Let's go manual here. And we'll continue descending down to our platform altitude of 2,700. Here, just set that up. We'll descend at 1,000 feet per minute, that's perfectly fine there. Get the lights back on. And we'll see what signs can go on. And medium auto brake should be okay. We'll stick on max actually. Where were we? Yeah, performance. So I think it will be good. I'm not convinced it'll be the same as sort of maybe the Toyota A340, because it will be quite, an advanced aircraft. Hopefully the system will be pretty up to date. It'll be interesting to see which variant they release first. I would presume the 300 ER, but we'll see, I suppose. But also with X-Plane 12.1 is going to be a huge update, and apparently there's a lot of performance improvements coming. So I don't know, maybe they're waiting for 12.1 to release so they can fix anything with the aircraft and then release it with 12.1, maybe. So do you think, Ozzy, 12.1 will affect scenery development in any way? Do you think there'll be much to fix with sceneries if they are changing anything with that regard, or do you think it'll be unaffected?
I don't think anything will change significantly that I'll need to update anything. I know for 12.0 or 12.09, they added a bunch more laminar library assets, which is why you have to use it in order to do Trenton, just because there's so many new laminar research library stuff. If they add more stuff to it in 12.1, then that'll be great for us. Yeah, pretty much it.
So, how up to date is the laminar library? Can you sort of mostly find whatever you need, or is it slightly outdated still, would you say?
It honestly depends. Like, I pretty much have to use $0 payware and Mr. X for certain stuff. I never use laminar research lines because Mr. X is just so good, and then I use $0 payware paint for runway markings and just certain other stuff. But like, I think for Trenton, what I used laminar research for was some of these like storage places. I think they were right outside the airport, so I just placed a few of those buildings in there and looked pretty much as good as I could without modeling them, which would take a few hours. I just didn't think they were worth it. Another thing was tow bars from pushback trucks. Laminar research added like colored bars, and that was really nice. There was one other thing, but I can't remember that I used them for. But yeah, if you're gonna be doing like gateway or not gate, like what I used to do, which was not 3D modeling, but also not gateway, then laminar research has improved a lot, and you can make very good sceneries with just the laminar library and also a few other libraries. Obviously, it's not going to be 3D models, but still make a very good airport.
Yeah, and I guess also you spoke about the Mr. X6 library and the $0 payware library. So I've sort of start learning WED. I've been trying to develop just at a very basic level EGNX East Midlands, which is my local, and I have been using those libraries, and I think having those libraries available has really helped a lot of people develop more sceneries, just because there's, you can use a library and you've got all these great, really nice textures and buildings and, lines, as you say, and it's all sort of done for you, and there's a pretty decent selection between those as well, and there's plenty of libraries, and I think that's what really helped explain, especially with the scenery development side of things, thrive with the amount of sceneries we had, especially for X-Plane 11. It just allows a lot more people to make scenery, essentially, if they don't know 3D modeling, or if they don't know how to do texture work and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and if you have any questions about development, just make sure to let me know. You can answer anything, or almost anything.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's WED is an interesting software. It's not the, I wouldn't say it's not the easiest to use, but I suppose as you get more and more familiar with it, it does get easier. It's just not the most sort of obvious on how to do things straight away, sort of thing.
I mean, the UI is from 2008, but
Yeah, it's might need a bit of an. It'd be nice if they. I know that it's meant to be a more of a complex software, and they can't. There's only a certain amount that they can simplify it. It'd be nice to have a sort of setup wizard almost, where the initial stuff that you sort of have to do over and over again when you're first generating the airport. It'd be nice if they have a wizard and you just sort of go through it, and it's all, you select everything with a nice UI and it's all sort of sorted. That'd be very cool if they could ever do that, but I think their main focus is just the desktop version of X-Plane itself, and obviously their commercial side of things is a pretty big part of their business. So
2,500.
Me, Skycheck, and Dave McKee, me and Dave have talked a lot about snow and transparent runways. it's something that whoever made the snow plugin needs to fix. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's working on it. But the SkyCheck, I don't know what else to say, but transparent runways are quite literally the only way to make custom-made runways that actually have the right center lines and right textures and just everything. Like there's no going around it. Yeah, most devs also use it as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I think because SkyCheck makes sceneries that are mainly for I think the gateway and just more default and
Shit.
for generally performance enhancement is I think his main goal. Hence why not using external textures and stuff like that without libraries and stuff.
Yeah, that's
but again, it's nice to have the two different options. Do I want some really great scenery or visually stunning scenery, or do I want a scenery which will give me a 100 FPS?
I understand that now, but for Trenton at least, and every scenery I've done, I've had zero issues with transparent runways, and they just look more realistic. But if it's gateway, then yeah, I understand why you would not want to use transparent.
Yeah. Get down, flaps 2. Actually, we'll go flaps 3. And we have captured the localizer and the glide slope. Just check on chat here. What Laminals needs to work out is how to allow mods/devs to use transparent runway textures and not have snow make the whole airport shoot your eyes. Okay, I see that whole conversation now.
2000.
Most devs use transparent, so their custom textures show up over the default ones, right? So I guess right now it's sort of having to pick between the custom textures or the, all the weather effects and snow, and I guess that's more prominent in certain areas because, I don't know, if you're making the scenery for like somewhere in Africa or Middle East or somewhere where, it's never going to snow, then that's not really an issue. But if you're making a scenery for like somewhere in Norway or Sweden or something like that, then that's something you might want to think about, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, so we're here on approach to Trenton. You can already see the lovely runway textures there. And again, guys, all of this ortho that you're seeing here is comes with the scenery, and it's a separate download, but you can download the whole tile, and it has all the custom mesh and all that good stuff. So that's really appreciated.
Yes, and if needed, you can make your own. Yes, we provide a patch file, so you can make your own if you don't like the textures we use.
Yep, absolutely. And that's what I really appreciated. I think I said it earlier, but having that patch file there for those of us who know how to use it, and being able to generate our own orthos is really nice, and not having to sacrifice all the mesh stuff that you guys have put a lot of work into is great, because like I said, a lot of payware don't have that option, and it just, you have to pick between mesh and ortho. It is not brilliant, especially when you paid for a product. But for freeware, I honestly didn't expect a patch file or anything like that. When I saw it, I was like, wow, this is really great to have that option.
400.
So we are on approach here.
300.
Slightly short runway, so we'll
Minimum.
try not to float
200.
it.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 10, 5.
Oh, it was a really hard landing. That was terrible. We'll store the reverses there. That was a really hard landing. That was terrible. I said I didn't want to float it, but
Oh wow! Ooh.
Yeah,
that was hard.
Yeah, very hard. I was focusing way too much on trying not to float it, but we'll exit here onto runway 34, and then we'll get the exit at the end there. Park up, take a look at the replays, and take a look at the scenery in more detail then. Definitely not my best landing at all. But you guys can see already the great textures here on the runway. I love these tar lines. It just adds so much, you know, variance to the runway. It's not the same texture all the way along. It's all this stuff here, these barriers, and very, very nice. Got the 3D grass as well, which I believe you said there's an option, right? You can, is it you can disable it or remove some of it, or?
Yep, you can trim the grass completely off. There's an option file. There's an option file inside the airport directory that you can just take the app.dan, the DSF file, and just replace them. Overwrite, I guess, the correct terminology.
Brilliant, yeah. So if anyone's struggling for FPS, which I don't think you would be here. I mean, I'm getting like 45 FPS here. You do have that option, but just look at the details here. You know, got all these cracks, the tar lines, the sort of tire marks. Very nice.
I know you're still taxiing, but look at the ends of the runways, like right at the taxiways, and you should see a sign, or a taxiway sign, about noise abatement.
Alright, I'll take a look at that. Is that at the end of the runway I was just taxiing, right?
Yes, at the taxiways, right before you're about to enter the runway.
Right, okay, let's... take a look.
One thing I'm sure none of the Misfits developers would make.
So I'll just park up there, let's take a look. Do you mean... you know what, this would probably be a good time to start streaming to you, so you can see what I'm doing.
Probably would.
Live. Alright. It's only going to be 720p, but because I don't have Discord Nitro, but you should be able to see my screen now live.
Should back up a little bit. It should be like right below you. To the left. Yep, there it is.
Ah, there he is. Oh yeah. No, I honestly might not have noticed that, but that's brilliant. Nice quality as well. It's very sharp.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, like I said, I've reviewed a fair few payware sceneries, and while a lot of them are great, don't get me wrong, there's areas such as these signs which they think, oh, it might not make a huge difference to the scenery. People might not notice it, and it's just terrible quality, but that is nice and sharp. That's very good. Look at that. Even as you zoom in, it's like so sharp. It's almost like it's vectors rather than pixels, but very good. This is the stuff I love in these sceneries. Let's go ahead and taxi on here, park up, take a look at the replays, and then check out the scenery properly. No worries, Dave. Nice to have you here. Thank you very much for your kind words. Yeah, V-Sky check, it was definitely a very firm landing, so... Again, the taxiway textures are just really nice. The lighting here, is that... did you just sort of let explain the WED software sort that out, or did you hand place it, or how do you get the lighting done?
Those are Mr. X lights, and I had to hand place every single one.
Oh wow, that must have took a very long time.
You notice there's like, you know, those kind of white outlines on the ortho, then you just kind of place one there. It only took like 20 minutes or so. It wasn't that bad.
Right.
There's certain stuff that you learn after a while.
Right, yeah. Again, look here, guys. The you can see here the sort of change in, I guess, tarmac, and using the tire lines and the reflections on those tire lines just looks so nice. I love tire lines and these sceneries. I just think it elevates having that concrete change. It just elevates it to a whole new level, and you can see it all here. We should hopefully get a marshaller as well. There it is. Is that from Sam? Is that a Sam marshaller?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
And those flags animated up there above the building. Very nice.
And those light poles in front of you are all custom made as well.
These are custom lights, are they? Wow.
Yep.
Take a look at the night lighting as well, if I can get the aircraft to move here.
I will say I might have to update trend to make the marshaller go back a little bit, because by the time you get to where you need a part, it's like disappeared. But
Yeah, no, that's to be fair, I think I'll be able to still see him here. I know a lot of sceneries to marshal is quite far forward, but it's alright. I just have this view preset here, so. Alright. So we'll park up there. I do like the animations on the Sam Marshaller. I will say it's very, very nice. Right, so we didn't start the APU because we were talking way too much, so we'll just go for a very quick shutdown here. Just literally just turn all the lights off, get everything shut off. Just in the interest of time. And we'll get rid of, turn the bats off. There it is. So, okay, aircraft shut down. Let's take a look at the replay here. At this horrible landing. Send this to Ryanair, they might give me a job.
it's like a guitar.
Oh yeah. Ooh. See one of the billboards there? Oh yeah, that was very harsh. Well, kind of centerline at least, but not brilliant. Take a look at a few more angles here. You can see how nice the grass looks here during these views. Brilliant, and so does the textures. So anyway, let's take a look at the scenery properly then. I'm gonna disable it to be realistic for a second because it's very loud. No worries, V-Sky Check. It's been very nice having you here too as well. It's always great to stream here. Right, so let's take a look. Obviously we can see these textures here. I love how they're different on each parking spot here. A lot of the time they've just sort of copy and pasted these these, what are they, tar lines or just tire marks, but they're sort of randomized here. It looks very, very nice. I do love when things are just, especially the clutter here, you know, it's randomized and just looks so much more realistic rather than having stuff just sort of copy and pasted, if you see what I mean. So this building here, this Trenton building, I'm gonna guess is this custom, right?
Yep.
So did you have to do all the texturing as well, presumably?
Yes, I did. Obviously, right now it doesn't look great, um, but I promise you, I'm working on making it better. It for some people, it just looks way better on their sim. Like for me, it looks the exact same as yours. It looks kind of blurry. But yeah, I am working on sometime soon on retexturing it because it doesn't look the sharpest on some people's sims
Yeah, I mean, I
for
think
some reason.
yeah, I guess this is one of the difficult things about development is getting it to look at least similar or the same on everyone's systems. And obviously, you've only got one system, or it's difficult to test these things. But I think that it looks fairly decent. I mean, look, at the end of the day, for freeware, you just can't go wrong, can you? I mean, I love all the are these all hand placed, by the way? All of these sort of
Yeah.
railings. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you can see that is one of those details that honestly, if they weren't there, nobody would notice, right? I mean, nobody's gonna notice not having handrails and stuff, but it being there just adds that extra level of immersion, in my opinion. I mean, we have this. I guess this is a custom building as well. This baggage claim uh,
Hmm.
area. Yep. Uh, so that's really nice. Well, are any of these trees hand placed, by the way, or are these just from default?
They are hand placed, but not by me. They're by Josh or
Right. Okay.
Hornet Aircraft Designs.
Right. Right. I see. Okay. So yeah, again, we have some nice vegetation around the whole scenery with the trees and obviously the grass. And I think the sort of density of grass is, I guess, is dependent on your explained settings. But for me, it's very nice. Doesn't have an impact on performance, and there's just enough so that it does look authentic. So I was
No,
saying
you.
earlier about these tar lines, right? Just
Hmm.
I love the details there. They look so good.
No, you do not need LST to get the marshals to work. You just need Sam.
Yes. Oh yeah, I should be looking at chat. So yeah, Chris, there you go. There's the answer. Thank you very much, Ozzy. So many senior devs in the chat. Yep, I thought that might happen. But yeah, just the texturing is brilliant. Are these all from libraries? All these textures?
No. So actually, I've already spoken about this earlier, but I hate ground textures. I do not want to do them. I just do not like them at all. Um, Captain Lee, Terror Designs, he's making a library that hasn't come out yet, but he used his pavement thing, which is basically just an overlay on top of the orthos, which basically means you get the exact colors and the exact just everything about the correct pavement and stuff like that, but you get the high fidelity of like decals and stuff. So you don't have to, you just put the overlay over the entire airport, you add a few things, and you're pretty much done.
Oh, great. That sounds very interesting. Yeah, these it does look very good. I have to say, honestly, better than a lot of payware I've seen. If I'm completely honest, there's a lot of payware which the textures they might be the right color or whatever, but they just look flat and they don't have these details here. So it's one of the very first things I noticed about this scenery. We have a helipad here. Again, I'm guessing this is a custom building. I'm guessing most of these are all custom buildings, right?
Yep.
Yep. So again, looks very nice. Just having it, when you're on approach here, and having non-default X-plane uh, buildings, it just adds to the uniqueness, I guess, of the scenery, and having the big FBO writing and stuff like that. This is a Pfizer hangar here, if I'm not mistaken, right? This blue one.
Correct.
Yep.
Pfizer completely owns that hangar.
Wow. Yeah. So that's great. That's what's this here? There's a flight serve FBO with a huge ramp area. um.
Yes.
Yep.
Very new.
Is it?
Hmm?
I didn't know it was new.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, very nice. Do you want to maybe guide me to some of the Easter eggs or anything else in the scenery you want to particularly highlight?
Um, Yeah, so by or I guess we can go to the signature FBO, which is to the left of you right now. Yeah, over there on the other side. Um, Me personally, I think that's where my best work is, and also where one of the uh, Easter eggs are. If you look at one of the billboards right next to or behind the buildings to the right, right there.
There are 3 cats hidden around the airport. See if you can find them all.
I'll give you a hint. One of them is by the terminal, and
That's
there's Captain Lee.
Captain Lee. Yep. Amazing. Uh, well, one thing I've noticed is here in the parking area we have these stop curbs. That's really nice addition there.
Yep,
Very
all
nice
that
details.
is Mr. X.
Wow, that's just amazing. Custom building here, Avis budget. See, even there's even details around the back, which realistically, when we're over here in aircraft doing whatever we need to do, we're not going to see. But that detail is still there, which I absolutely love. Are these power lines hand placed or are these from AutoGen?
I think those are autogen.
Right. Okay. I do have SimHeaven installed, so maybe it's that. So what
Uh,
else? What else was there? I like the clutter here. That looks so nice.
yeah. Arco, I mainly use Google Earth Pro for that. I use the measurement tool with 3D Line.
Right. I see. Again, there's more sort of just clutter around here, fences and gates actually have signs on. As you can see, stop signs and stuff. There's I guess that's where you access, open the gate or whatever, and really, really nice details. Take a look at the night light in a second as well. Was there anything else you maybe wanted to particularly highlight?
No, not, or I guess EMAS as well. Every single EMAS at the end of each runway was specifically made for each one.
That's this,
Because,
right?
yep, it took so long. I hate those. For some reason, I just can't do those good.
Looks great though.
But
Again, it's one of those details that you sort of you really notice, and it just makes the airport stand out. And it's great when you install a custom scenery and it actually looks completely different to the default. Because I have installed even freeware scenery sometimes, and you load up and you think, is it actually installed? Like it doesn't make a huge difference. But
yeah,
this just completely overhauls the whole airport. Um, Arco is asking, how do you get the dimensions of the 3D model buildings for access to plans or other? Oh, that was the Google
Google
Earth
Earth
stuff.
Pro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Make sure to use Google Earth Pro, not just Google Earth. It's just an application that you can download, and it's way better than the desktop version of, or not the desktop, the website version of it.
Is Google Earth Pro, is that like a paid upgrade or is
Nope,
it free?
it's free. It's just something you have to download.
Oh, great. Okay. Again, there's some custom lights here. Looks like there's a what I don't know what that is, but looks custom to me. So again, some
No,
nice
that
details.
was actually Mr. X.
Yeah. Again, a lot of the I guess there's some custom stuff. There's some uh, stuff from libraries, and it just all integrates together so nicely. Let's see if we can find some more of these billboards. There was a Q8 pilot one here somewhere.
I think it was by the flight service. No, wait, no, never mind. I can't remember where.
Is this bridge custom or is that just AutoGen?
No,
Right.
Autogen.
Okay.
Yeah, you're too far out. I don't go that far out for
Yeah.
stuff
No,
like
I
that.
mean we wouldn't. I don't think anybody would expect stuff out there to be custom made or anything like that. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's the blue experience one. I'm sure they appreciate being in these sceneries and stuff like that. Some more again,
I know
some more
there's
custom stuff here.
I know there's some by the end of the runways. Don't remember. Yeah, that one doesn't include the Q8, or maybe it doesn't. I don't forgot.
So there's
Yeah, no,
jet
it
set
does not.
designs. I think we saw this one earlier, didn't we? Yes.
Yes, we did. You can
There's
follow
one
that
here.
road. That one was done by Josh. He really wanted that one inside.
Right. And then there's okay, so that's you can follow the road here.
I think there's some right by the terminal as well, like in the parking lot, maybe.
Which one?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Down, maybe. You can go to the end of runway 16, I think. Yeah, over there.
Oh yes.
There's a few. I'm not sure if. Yep, that one includes Q8 on the other side.
What, this one?
No. Keep going that way. Yep, right there.
I guess this is all the custom mesh stuff here, right?
Yeah. Oh, I need to move that. Thanks for showing me. I need to move that wall. There's
There's
supposed to be a wall right
Q8.
there.
Oh really? Oh
Yep.
right. Oh, I guess this and this mesh is slightly coming through the wall. There's Q8, our good friend. So yeah, really nice details, and I've said it before, but the textures for me are just really nice, and the 3D modeling of the buildings is also really nice, and just makes for a really nice airport. There's always a Frontier aircraft here, which I think is Traffic Global, but that's nice to see because I know Frontier do fly into here, which is very cool. I do like those animated flags as well. They're part of a library, aren't they? Right?
Flags of the USA.
Yes. Yep. I remember downloading that. Yeah, that's nice. Adds a bit of makes the scenery a bit more sort of dynamic. Question from Chris: does Ozzy do any modeling in Blender, etc., or is it all created using pre-baked models?
Yep, I 3D model now, I guess.
And that's using Blender, right?
Yep.
How did you?
Text.
Sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I texture using Substance Painter though. That is Adobe subscription.
Right, I see.
You're wondering.
For Blender, I know it's a pretty difficult and complex software. How did you go about sort of learning that and getting into the 3D modeling side of things?
So Aviation Master has a series on YouTube for absolute beginners on Blender. I would watch his videos on that. That's how I kind of got started with it. And then I've just learned stuff on my own and I progressively got better, better, and better, and better. And yeah, it's mostly Aviation Master though for getting that kickstart and then just time and experience.
Yeah, I guess like to say, practice makes perfect, right? So you'll only improve. So one thing I did
Yes.
want to ask as well is regarding some of your future sceneries, if you can say, how would you say that they are maybe a step up from Trenton maybe, or what do you aspire to improve in general about the sceneries?
Uh, Mostly just texture wise, improving those, uh, as well as just finding more details and actually implementing them. Um, because a lot of times I just get burnt out of doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So then I'll decide like, oh, no one will really care about that, and then not implement it, and then turns out it's if I actually do implement it, it looks 10 times better, and just but it's mostly just working on payware stuff right now and actually digging the trenches and just digging deep for it, pretty much.
Yeah, and so those payware and future projects, where would be the best place to for everyone to stay updated on those?
Payware right now, there hasn't been any updates for it. You can either check it out, Terror Designs or Shuttle Design, most likely Terror Designs Discord server. For my future freeware projects, that'll probably be Jet Set Design, which you can find on the forums, be a link at the very bottom of the airport, and you can join the Discord server there. But that's probably not going to start at least for a month or so, and then yeah, after that, I don't have any future plans, but probably will soon after those.
Brilliant. Yeah. And just one last question. So obviously into flight sim, have you ever thought of, or do you fly in real life, or have you ever thought of flying in real life?
Yep, I am currently training right now at my local airport for my private pilot's license.
Oh, brilliant. That's great. How's that going then? How far along are you?
Uh, have a few hours, I think 7 or 8, so I'm still very, very new at it, but I'm enjoying it a lot.
Great. Is that just for sort of like a personal hobby, or would you want to fly commercially at some point?
I do want to fly as my job, so either commercial or business jet.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm hopefully starting my PPO in summer, and again looking to go commercial and stuff. So that's brilliant. Good luck with all of that.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. So see if we've got any more questions in chat. Why do some parking areas have a proper ground poly while some are just what seems to be like ortho with cars placed on top?
Because some of them are, that is not the area that we really focused on before release. Again, there are still some things I need to work on trend, but right now I am kind of tied, have my hands tied around my back with payware. So once I'm done with that, then I'll focus on trend for a little bit, um, just updating and revamping it a little bit because there were just some things that I was just so sick and tired of that I didn't want to work on it. But after a while, I'll probably get back into it and then I'll update that. It's not, I made sure that the things I didn't want to do weren't like important things like runway markings, but just parking areas that 9 times out of 10 you won't look at. But yeah, I'll make sure to focus on those next time once I am finished with payware.
Amazing. Yeah. So I guess we can expect some updates to Trenton then at some point. And I think right. We'll make this the last question then. I don't want
All
to
right.
take up too much of your time. From Chris, I used to create a lot of scenery in Second Life using prims about 10 years ago. Would any of those skills translate over to XP scenery creation?
I have no clue what Second Life is.
Yep, I was going to say, nor do I. So there might be a difficult one to answer. But hey, if you guys do have more questions sort of after the stream, or if you're watching this after the stream is concluded, then Ozzy is in my Discord as well. So I'm sure you could ask there. So we have a pretty great community going on there. And of course, in the Shuttle Simulations Discord as well. So thank you very much, Ozzy, for coming here on stream. It's been great, very very nice chatting to you, and I hope that these streams and such help you get some more downloads and sort of some more followers for your freeware sceneries, because they are just brilliant, and we're looking forward to all of your future projects.
Yeah, thanks so much. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely, yeah, no worries. Right, guys. So thank you all for being here today. We'll leave it here. Q8 Pilot is streaming in just about 20 minutes, so I will be hopping over there hopefully. So yeah, well, thank you all for being here. Hope you enjoyed it. Should be streaming again on maybe Tuesday night. We'll think of a route and aircraft for that. As always, if you have any suggestions, do let me know in the Discord. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one.